Dr. Brad has gone mad, Chapter 11, A Very Dangerous Situation. Mr. Klutzer and our vice principal, Mrs. Jaffe, came running to the playground. They were followed by Dr. Brad, who was huffing and puffing. "What's going on?" Dr. Brad shouted. "Somebody pulled the fire alarm, by golly," said Miss Jaffe. "It was Andrea Young," Mr. Granite said. "Are you sure?" asked Mr. Klutz. "That's not the Andrea I know." "I'm sure Dr. Brad will be able to calm her down." "Where is Andrea?" asked Dr. Brad. "I must speak with her." "We don't know where she is," I told them. "She ran out of the school. She could be anywhere." At that moment, the strangest thing in the history of the world happened. We heard a voice from above our heads. "I'm up here, you dumbheads." I looked up, and there, standing on the roof of the school, was Andrea. "Wow," everybody said, which is Mom upside down. It was a real Kodak moment. Kids started pointing at Andrea and yelling, "She's crazy. She's nuts. She's loopy. She's bananas. She's off the wall. She's out of her mind. She's loony. She's bizarre. She's off her rocker. She's not normal. She's loco. She's bonkers. She's losing her marbles. She's screwy. She's out of control." "How did you get up there, Andrea?" shouted Mr. Klutz. "How do you think I got up here, you big doofus?" yelled Andrea. "I climbed." Ooh, everybody oohed. I couldn't believe Andrea called the principal a big doofus. "My feet smell like rotten cabbage," Andrea yelled. I snapped my fingers to make Andrea come out of her trance, but she was too far away. "What should we do, Dr. Brad?" asked Mr. Klutz. "You're the school counselor." "This is a very dangerous situation," Dr. Brad said. "I must talk to Andrea and show her kindness, caring, and understanding." "That won't do anything," Michael said. "AJ hypnotized her. She's only going to listen to him." "Is this true, AJ?" asked Dr. Brad. "You hypnotized Andrea?" I didn't have the chance to answer his question because at that moment, a bunch of fire engines and police cars pulled up to the school with their sirens screaming. Somebody must have called 911. A policeman with a bullhorn got out of the car. "Get down from there, young lady," he shouted. "Come and get me, coppers," yelled Andrea. "We don't want you to get hurt," another policeman shouted. "You'll never take me alive," yelled Andrea. She picked up a tennis ball off the roof and threw it at the police car. "Let's get her, men," the cops with the bullhorn shouted. The cops started moving toward the wall. "Wait!" Dr. Brad shouted. "This is a very dangerous situation. Do not go up on the roof. There is only one person who can rescue this girl." Dr. Brad looked at me. Mr. Klutz looked at me. Miss Jaffe looked at me. The cops looked at me. Everybody was looking at me. I was faced with the hardest decision of my life. If I didn't save Andrea, something horrible might happen. And if I did save Andrea, the guys would say I was in love with her. I was thinking so hard that my brain hurt. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I had to think fast. "I'm going up," I said. Everybody cheered as I dug my sneakers into the little spaces between the bricks. There were a few windowsills I could step on too. It was hard, but soon I reached the top of the school. I was a few feet from Andrea. "Get out of my face, AJ," she yelled. I took Andrea's necklace out of my pocket and dangled it in front of her eyes, and she stared at it. "You will do everything I say," I told her. "Everything you say," Andrea mumbled. "You're a good girl," I said. "You never do anything wrong. You love school and books and learning and being nice to grown-ups. When I snap my fingers, you'll wake up and go back to the way you used to be." "The way I used to be," mumbled Andrea. Snap! Andrea was startled. She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Then she looked around. "What am I doing up on the roof?" "Arlo?" she asked. You went a little crazy," I told her. "Let's climb back down now, okay?" "Okay," said Andrea. Me and Andrea carefully climbed down the wall of the school. When we reached the ground, everybody cheered. Andrea gave me a big hug. "You saved my life, Arlo," she said. "Ooh," Ryan said. "AJ saved Andrea's life. They must be in love." "When are you going to get married?" asked Michael. If those guys weren't my best friends, I would hate them.